All right, and you guys can't stop asking questions about the U.S. Open, and we're following your clicks and curiosity, and it looks like you guys want to know more about all the events happening and how the tournament has become a social sport. I've got my U.S. Open ball crew shirt on, so let's break it down. We've got our D'Arcy Maine up first, and then Ben Ryder Howe. Y'all, thank you so much for being here. Let's start with the U.S. Open tennis champions. ESPN senior writer D'Arcy Maine joins me with more. D'Arcy, appreciate you being here. Let's start with this matchup that everyone seems to be talking about. It didn't technically count, but I know everyone is excited to see them back at the U.S. Open. We have Roger Federer defeating Andy Roddick. I feel like I'm in 2010 saying that, but tell us a little bit about the matchup.
Yeah, they played an exhibition match last night. And of course, Federer is being inducted into the Tennis Hall of Fame this weekend. So one of many, many celebrations for him this week and, of course, forever. It was a great match. They got a huge crowd, a lot of celebrities in attendance. Serena Williams was there. And I think it just speaks to the lingering popularity he still has on the sport, Roddick as well. And people enjoyed the match. It got a lot of publicity and just a great matchup. And it just shows how beloved he remains by his peers and by the fans.
Two legends, and honestly, it looked like they still had it out there. And speaking of legends, I mean, people are also interested.
For one set.
For one set.
Let's be clear.
For one set. That's true. That's true. And speaking of legends, people are also interested in sisters Serena and Venus Williams. They're teaming up after receiving a wildcard bid.
Yeah, that was announced today by the USTA. They will be playing doubles together. They were supposed to play together, of course, at Wimbledon earlier this summer. Serena ended up getting injured, so they had to withdraw from that. So they played their first doubles event together for the first time in nearly 4 years last week in Cincinnati. They lost that first round match, but they played better and better as the match went on. Serena, of course, played mixed doubles yesterday with Carlos Alcaraz. She showed some vintage moments for sure. I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited, and just want to throw out they've won 14 major titles together, 2 at the U.S. Open. So anything is possible.
Anything is possible. And obviously, D'Arcy, it's fan week. You can feel the excitement in the air here in New York. So what else are you watching for ahead of Sunday's main draw?
There is so much to watch out for. I don't even really know where to begin. On the women's side, Aryna Sabalenka, the world number 1, that's a little bit in jeopardy, which could make this really interesting. She's the defending champion, and she has held this number 1 ranking for almost 100 weeks. However, she hasn't been playing by her standards that well this summer. She's had some struggles. So the number 1 ranking is on the line. Elena Rybakina could take it, and then Americans Coco Gauff and Jess Pegula also have a chance to take it, which makes this a really compelling women's tournament. On the men's side, Carlos Alcaraz makes his return. He returned officially yesterday with Serena. He has not played a singles match since April, so we don't fully know how he's going to look. He had, of course, a wrist injury. We're not sure what to expect, but of course, when he's at his best, or even sort of his best, he, of course, will be the top contender. Jannik Sinner will not be playing. But with the question marks around Alcaraz, you have to wonder, could someone else sneak in and win this? Could this be the time for Novak Djokovic to win number 25? Could an American break the streak? Andy Roddick, who you mentioned earlier, was the last American man to win a major in 2003. So a long, long time ago. Could Ben Shelton do it? Could Taylor Fritz do it? Could Frances Tiafoe? They've all shown some great moments this summer on the hard court. So that makes for a really interesting storyline going in. And I think that'll get more and more exciting as the tournament goes on.
No, for sure. And with Jannik Sinner out, obviously it feels like the door is just wide open in the men's bracket. Let's see if an American can pull it out. I feel like we've held out hope the past few years to no avail. But D'Arcy, thank you so much for joining us. Let's now bring in New York Magazine contributing writer Ben Ryder Howe. Ben, appreciate you being here. You wrote this piece that I found so funny. It's called The Shmancification of the U.S. Open, where you write about the $800 million Arthur Ashe Stadium renovation, saying it's, quote, doing the same thing as every branch of the hospitality industry by catering to those for whom money is no object, with the most luxurious, most exclusive, most over-the-top experiences imaginable. Do you personally believe the stadium and event are becoming a club for elites, or is the sentiment shared more broadly?
It feels like this year, if you ask around, which I did, that people, longtime Open fans find that it is a different kind of tournament than it used to be. They're having a harder time affording the tickets, and once they get in there, they're finding that the tournament is, the crowds are bigger. and the prices of the drinks and the food, everything's a lot more expensive than it used to be. It should be said that's not stopping people from going. It is still a wildly popular event.
No, you definitely walk out of Arthur Ashe with your pockets feeling significantly lighter whenever you go to the U.S. Open. But Ben, for people watching at home right now, some people are asking themselves, what does Shmancification mean? It feels like a level up from fancification. What made you actually use that word when writing the article?
It just seems like there is an even higher level of luxury these days. One that I think people in the past who could, who could afford to go to the Open are finding, wow, even I can't afford this anymore. There are a lot of corporate suites at all of these events, and even some of those corporate the people who sit in those boxes down at courtside, they're looking around and they're going, how come I'm not in the very best seats in the house? What are the people next to me getting? Why do I see celebrities sitting somewhere else besides where I am? And you see things like private club style amenities in a lot of these events. So it's really it is new. It's not just the level of luxury that people expected in the past. Some of these amenities are really pretty amazing.
And that Shmancification also feels like sort of twofold, right? You talk about the corporatization of the game, but also sort of the Instagram worthiness of the U.S. Open experience, just for the sake of attracting sort of younger fans. Do you think the tournament is succeeding at attracting younger tennis fans, or is the cost making the goal of reaching new demographics sort of clash with actually being able to attend?
I think it is working. I mean, so somebody, a broker who sells tickets to the Open and other tennis events, told me that in the past, people would go to the Open to see Federer or Nadal. Nowadays, people go to these events just to be there. And it's much easier for them, for the brokers or the people selling tickets, to bring people to the first week of the Open, because people just want to be there, and they want to be seen being there. You have not only this huge surge in people, in influencers, but there's been a very significant change in the number of what the Open calls experience seekers, and these are people who were not maybe huge lifelong tennis fans, but they love live events. And they typically will go from, say, something like the World Cup to this, and then they would go to the NBA Finals or a Taylor Swift concert. And money is no object in a lot of for a lot of these people, and that has really changed. That has changed the tournament and definitely made it younger. I mean, people see this stuff online and they want to be there.
Yeah, for sure. Whether it's for the love of the gram or for the love of the game, the U.S. Open is more popular than ever. Ben Ryder Howe, thank you so much for joining us.